It's 6 o'clock and you welcome to Kana Radio News at 6. I am Deliverance Ashebi and I'm here with
Ahiano Bless Era.
In our headlines, lawyer who contested voting rights of deputy speakers is still considering review.
NDC reveals appointment plans by saying NPP has shown us the way. Monkey no go work, make babu chop.
Sunyani West Municipal Assembly holds staff deba.
Samuel Okudato said NDC's war against e-levy isn't over. It's a battle of our lives.
This and many more stories we have for you. Now, into our first story. The private legal practitioner who saw the Supreme Court's interpretation of the Deputy Speakers of Parliament's voting rights is still unsure whether he will seek a rehearing of his case. Following the verdict affirming the authority of Deputy Speaker of Parliament to vote, Justice Abdullahi has stated that he will decide whether or not the file to review motion by the deadline of 8th of April 2022. I'm preparing my draft. The motion is ready. Other methods are still being worked on, so I have to the 8th of April 2022. I'm sure I will take that final bold decision on the 8th of April, whether to go ahead or just leave matters to lie as they are at the moment, the lawyer said. He was opposing the decision of Joseph Osei Osu. Joe Wise, the first Deputy Speaker of Parliament, to count himself for a vote on the 2022 budget. Speaking on the later suit of Parliament's passage of the Electoral Transaction Levy without the support of the minority caucus, Mr. Abdullahi said it allows the Supreme Court to answer questions concerning his case. The minority is arguing that Parliament did not have the right numbers to form a quorum for the passage of the e-levy bill into law. This is after minority members of Parliament walked out during the consideration of the bill. Mr. Abdullah is still unclear on what it means to be present in Parliament and whether one must be in the chamber or may have just signed as being present. I'm hoping that the release being sought by the minority may bring out some of these issues so that we can determine to its finality what amount to being present and what amount to being absent at the House of the Parliament. Into our next story, where Sunyani West Municipal Assembly holds staff deba. The Sunyani West Municipal Assembly has had its maiden staff deba of the year 2022 with a call on staff to adopt good work ethics to boost the development objectives of the Assembly. The deba was a platform to address the shortcomings and challenges of staff and also find ways to address them. The Municipal Chief Executive, Mr. Ivan Skusi Boadum, said it was a privilege to have such a gathering which enables management to interact with staff. He also urged all to participate in the deliberation and share issues with regard to the Assembly. The MCE explained that the gathering would help management know the successes and challenges of staff in line with their duties. He urged staff to be committed to their jobs and discharge their duties effectively and efficiently. He also advised the staff to stay away from party politics at their workplaces. The Municipal Coordinating Director, Mr. Gordon, urged staff not to shirk their duty and commitment to work. He advised the staff to be punctual to work and avoid lateness. He stressed that the need for staff to maximize their efforts and also encourage teamwork. As public servants, we should be mindful that government work is a business that we are doing for the people of Ghana, and for that matter, we should render quality services, he added. The staff had the opportunity to ask questions and make suggestions which were addressed by the management. And into our last social news, drivers made dead and other passengers critically injured after two vehicles collided on Winneba-Apam Highway. After a collision on the Winneba-Apam Highway at Bewaji, a driver's mate died and three others were critically injured. This incident was involving a Kia Reno with the registration number DB481520 and a Toyota Hiace with the registration number CR128812. According to information obtained by Kofi AJ of Adom News, the Kia Reno was delivering light poles from Winneba to Accra. On the other hand, the Toyota Haze was delivering onions from Goma Dominacy to Takoradi. However, a car crossed the Kia Reno on a part of the road, forcing the driver to lose control and crash into the side of the Toyota's mate. By the time Ghana National Fire Service officials got at the scene, he had been imprisoned for several hours and was dead. Up next is political news.
This is what is happening in the world of politics. Leadership of the opposition National Democratic Congress has assured members of the party of being rewarded for their contributions when the party returns to power. The NDC leadership, led by its 2020 presidential candidate, the former president of Ghana, John Dramani Mahama, recently engaged with some of its party members in the United States of America during a visit. Responding to a party member who sought to find out leadership plans to reward members of the NDC who worked hard for the party, the national organizer of the party sent a very reassuring notice. According to George Opare Ado, the ruling New Patriotic Party over the last 5 years in office have shown the NDC how to reward dedicated party members through appointments. He thus assures that the party's leadership will ensure members are rewarded pursuant to their contribution when the party regains power. In another story, North Tongue Member of Parliament Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa has said the minority is not giving up on the fight against the e-levy. He said the fight is not over, yet despite the approval of the policy by a one-sided parliament. His comments come after the General Secretary of the National Democratic Congress, John Asiedin Nketia, said the party will go back to the drawing board and see whether they will continue the fight against the e-levy. Parliament on Tuesday, March 29th, approved the e-levy after the minority had walked out from the House. The minority opposed the bill because, in their view, it was pensive and anti-business. In a last political story, Baku Central Member of Parliament Mahama Ayariga has stated that the minority caucus in Parliament should be commended for its efforts in stopping the passage of the Electronic Transaction Levy (e-levy). According to the MP, the minority caucus cannot be blamed now that the e-levy bill has been passed, subject to a Supreme Court ruling, because it did all it could to prevent it from being passed. Ayariga, who made this remark in a Joy News interview monitored by Ghana Web, also indicated that minority could not stop the passage of the levy because their numbers have been reduced by the absence of Assin North MP James Jackie Kwesing, who has an injunction against him holding himself as an MP. Ayariga further stated that he expects the Supreme Court to rule on a case failed to overturn the passage of the e-levy bill as soon as possible. Coming up is business news.
It's still Kana News at 6, and then do some business here on Kana News at 6. E-vehicles to be introduced for public transport. Deputy Transport Minister hints. The government is working assiduously to introduce the first ever battery-powered electric